Welcome to The Explainer. So, back on August 7th, 2025, OpenAI dropped GPT-5. And let me tell you, it was way more than just another upgrade. This was a fundamental shift, designed to solve AI's biggest and frankly most embarrassing problem. Today, we're going to break down exactly what that means.
All right, so to really get what GPT-5 is all about, we first have to talk about this huge challenge that plagued all the older AI models, a problem that really kept them from being something you could truly rely on. You've probably seen this yourself, right? You're talking to a chatbot, it sounds incredibly smart, and then poof, it just invents a fact out of thin air. And this isn't just some quirky little bug. This tendency has had some very real and very public consequences.
I mean, this case is the perfect, if not kinda scary, example of the risk. The AI had no idea it was lying. It was just following language patterns it had seen before, which really exposed a massive flaw in its design. These things were built to be brilliant predictors, not fact-checkers.
And this right here gets to the absolute heart of the problem, what we call hallucination. It happens because the older models were just fantastic mimics. They were trained to predict the next word in a sentence, not to actually understand what any of it meant. They were built for fluency, not for truth. So, the big question is, how do you fix an AI that's basically hardwired to make stuff up? Well, you can't just throw more data at it. You have to go deeper. You have to fundamentally change the way it thinks.
And that's exactly what OpenAI did. When they revealed GPT-5, this wasn't just, GPT 4.1. No way. This was a complete redesign from the ground up, a whole new architecture, built for one big reason, to kill the hallucination problem.
So what is this thing? Well, instead of juggling a bunch of different specialized models for different tasks, GPT-5 is this one single unified system. It's designed to think, see, hear, and this is the really big one, to act with a totally new level of intelligence. And yeah, it's now the new default for everyone using ChatGPT.
But how? How does GPT-5 pull this off? The huge leap forward isn't just about more raw power. It's about a much, much smarter way of using that power. And it all boils down to this brand new core component.
This right here, this is the absolute game changer. It's called a reasoning router. The best way to think about it is like a dispatcher or maybe a triage nurse in an ER. It looks at every single request you send it and decides, right on the spot, how much brain power is actually needed to handle it. And this is where it gets really cool, because this process is a lot like how our own brains work, right? If you ask it something simple, it'll just fire back a quick answer, almost like instinct. But if you throw a really tough, multi-step problem at it, it hits the brakes. It actually engages this thinking mode, where it maps out all the steps, a whole chain of logic, before it even tries to give you an answer. So, did it work? Oh yeah, the proof is right here. Look at this, a staggering 80% drop in factual errors, in hallucinations, compared to the last model. We're not talking about a small, little improvement here. This is a massive leap forward in making AI something you can actually trust.
Okay, so an AI that doesn't make things up as much, that's huge. But what does that actually mean for you, for us, in the real world? Well, this new reasoning power transforms it from just a better chatbot into something else, something entirely new. OpenAI is rolling this out in a few different flavors. You've got the main powerhouse GPT-5 for those really deep, complex jobs. Then you've got the mini and nano versions, which are way faster and cheaper, perfect for real-time stuff. But here's the really wild part. They all have the same massive 400,000 token context window. Just to put that in perspective, tokens are like little pieces of words. This means every version of this AI can hold the equivalent of a 300-page book in its working memory. That's just incredible.
And this is where it all comes together. We're moving beyond just talking. With new built-in connectors to tools we use every day, like CRMs or databases, GPT-5 can actually do things for you. It can pull your latest sales report, analyze the data, and then schedule a team meeting about it right in your calendar. It's not just a conversationalist anymore. It's an agent, an actual assistant.
You'd think everyone would be thrilled, right? A smarter, more reliable AI? What's not to love? Well, it turns out this update created one of the most divided reactions we have ever seen in the AI community.
So in one camp, you had people like OpenAI's CEO and tons of users who were just completely blown away. They felt like, for the very first time, they were talking to a true expert, not just a clever machine that was good at faking it.
But then there was this other camp, and for them, it was a totally different story. There was this genuine feeling of loss. I mean, people had spent hundreds of hours with the old model. They got used to its personality, its little quirks. And for them, this wasn't an upgrade. It felt like their AI friend had been replaced by a stranger.
And that brings us to this really big, kind of mind-bending final thought. As these AIs make the jump from just matching patterns to actually reasoning and taking action in our world, can we really still call them just a tool? Our whole relationship with this technology is about to get a lot more complicated.